Okay, good morning everyone. We're learning Sefer Ahavas Chesed from the Chofetz Chaim. And the Chofetz Chaim the learning is dedicated by the Harris family of Cleveland, Leila Nishmas, Rabbi Moshe Hauer, Rabbi Yisroel ben Harab ben Yamin, his neshama shehav an aliyah. The Chofetz Chaim is developing an idea that the human body, the 613 parts of the physical body, 248 limbs, 365 sinews, are cloaking the 248 spiritual limbs and 365 spiritual sinews. And if a person does an avera with a particular organ, they spiritually contaminate the corresponding spiritual organ. And imagine if somebody sinned with a organ that his whole entity relies upon, that would cause complete spiritual contamination. So the avera of leisisnas achicha b'vavecha would affect the lave, and thereby, since it's aver shaneshama tluya by, the whole entity, the whole organism is dependent on it, it is a lethal kind of contamination. The Chofetz Chaim in this paragraph said, since it is the essential organ of man, so it causes a ruach hatama to spread on the whole body. V'hinei chutz mizeh shu einesh ruchani ala adam. Aside from this, that it's a spiritual punishment, oid mu'utar ha'adam lavai chas v'shama yidei avein zeh la'anashim gedolim ba'olam hazeh. It could lead to great punishment in this world. So if somebody doesn't like Jews who are not like them, let's say you're from Shevet Zevulun and you don't like Jews from Shevet Asher, or let's say you're from Asher, but you're from Asher 48th Street and they're from Asher 52nd Street, and you don't like people from Asher from 52nd Street because their socks are purple with yellow polka dots and you're makbid to wear yellow polka dotted socks with a brown lining, and only people with that kind of socks are in your club. No, it could cause punishment in this world. K'de'isa b'Shabbos, ba'avoin sinas chinam, meriva rabba b'soich beisai shal adam. Because of the sin of baseless hatred, it could cause great quarreling in a person's house. V'ishtay ma'pelas nafalim. It could cause a person's wife to miscarry. Ubanav v'naisa mesim kshem ketanim. Could cause one's children to die when they're young. We see how many terrible punishments a person causes through this sin. Sometimes a person, he comes home from shul, he was having a good day, all of a sudden, for an inexplicable reason, he starts fighting with people in his family, his spouse, his children. He can't explain it. What is it? He started off in a good way, the day started off on a good note, and all of a sudden, he's all worked up in a frenzy, fighting with his family. Why? It's a punishment min hashamayim for not liking other Jews. Who says that? The Gemara. Does it apply bisman hazeh? Yes. Who says it applies when hazeh? The Chofetz Chaim. What more do we need to say? Okay. V'hinei afilu yifka adam echa b'vnai akad la'akos. Now, what if your kid came home from school? Not someone's kid came home from school, bruised. So, Tata, what happened to you? What happened to me? Feivel punched me. So you're going to go to Feivel's house. You're going to wring Feivel's neck. Dare you touch my kid? How dare you touch my kid? You're going to fight with that person. You're going to hate him to death. Pal, you punched your own kid. You punched your own kid. Again, these are the words of the Chofetz Chaim. But you yourself, you caused harm to your own child. You're not concerned about that? You don't realize the severity of the sin? Oy loy. Woe to him. V'oy lenafshay. and woe to his soul. Yeah, but the fur on his hat is different than the fur on my hat. Okay, yeah, that's a very normal reason not to like something. Yeah, but when he davens the Shemona Esrei, or when he does X, Y, and Z, it's different. I follow this Sefer, he follows that. So, okay, you could disagree with him, but you don't like him. You're causing harm to your own family. Aye sichlai, what happened to your common sense? Aye daitai, what happened to your brain? Shab'atzmai gar mecholzeh. You're causing, it's self-destructive behavior. Not liking other Jews is self-destructive behavior. But he goes to the army, he doesn't go to the army. He holds of the draft. Okay, you're entitled to your position. Nowhere does it say you need to agree with any Jew on any issue. There is no mitzvah in the Torah to agree with other Jews. If you look in the Gemara, you may come to that realization that you do not need to agree with other people. That's fine. You could disagree about every single issue, but you don't like them personally? No, that's self-destructive spiritual behavior. Now watch this. The Chafetz Chaim has bold words. In the entire Sefer Chafetz Chaim, there's not one bold word. In the whole Mishnah Brura, there's not one bold word. Now I can't tell you that in the original printing of the Chafetz Chaim these words were bold, because still, right now, there is no one on this planet who knows anything about the original printing of the Mishnah Brura. I'm sorry to mention this on air, but even artificial intelligence, we cross-examined it yesterday. Yehuda will be made. We cross-examined it because artificial intelligence started offering some svarim to look in about the original printing, and we pressed them that show us where it says anywhere anything about the original printing, and the AI was my dad. That actually it has no evidence and it has no information. It just speculated, right? Right now there is no one on this planet who knows anything. This is only a way to get you to find out some information about it. But still, I'm assuming that if this is bold, it was bold in the original. And Im Kain, I've never seen bold words in any of the writings of the Mishnah Brura, of the Chafetz Chaim. Look what he says. In bold, and I'm going to say it loud because it's in bold. It's a halacha that when something's in bold, you have to say it loud. Ve'al kein ma'oid tzarech ha'adam lihizaher me'avain zeh. A person has to be very careful from the sin. Uv'chol ruchai, and with all of his spirit, v'nafshay, and all of his soul, yisrachek me'avain zeh. You need to distance. V'yeh loy toiv bazeh uv'aba, and it will be good for you in this world and in the next world. Now, one thing we could safely say, the Chafetz Chaim did not like Lashon Hara. I don't think so. He wrote a whole book on it. But nowhere in Sefer Chafetz Chaim did he write in bold that you need to distance yourself from Lashon Hara. But this, you're going to hurt your own children? No, you got to be out of your mind. That's what not my words. I would never say that. The Chafetz Chaim says, Aye sichlai, the aye daitai. You're going to cause harm to your own children? It's not worth it. So even if, let's say, you're Zavulon 43rd Street and he is Zavulon 42nd Street, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to agree with him. You don't have to wear the same color socks as him. You could have a different kind. He could put a rabbit on his head and you could put a beaver on your head. Still, and you could argue fundamentally on what fur is better, but if you don't like him personally, it's self-destructive spiritual behavior. Have a great day, everyone. Kol Tov. What?
It's mixed up Torah. It's very good. Rabbi Glatstein here on top of all today.